Hey everybody, it's Monday, November 6th, 2023. Welcome to the NFL Fantasy Football Show presented by Subway. It's me, your man, MG Marcus Grant, joined by Michael F. Florio. We got specialists in the building. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was like, that's a week 9 heading into week 10, like, ooh, I get it. I'm not mad. I just understand. We appreciate you guys, though, helping us put this show on every day, and we appreciate all of you out there for engaging with us. However it is, whether it's audio, video, or social media. So it seems like we were here this last week and we said this same thing, and I'm going to say it again. Injuries suck, man, and they are really changing the landscape of both the NFL and fantasy right now.
Yeah, and for all the whole, running quarterbacks are the ones that get hurt. A whole bunch of pocket passers are just getting taken out weekly. It has taken what has been, look, I still love fantasy. It's a fun game, but it definitely makes it a lot less fun when all the players that we want to see out there are just not out there.
I'm looking, and it seems like every quarterback that has had a season-ending injury I have had on a roster somewhere. I have one roster that has lost Aaron Rodgers, Anthony Richardson, and Kirk Cousins all in the same year.
That is, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty. Although weirdly, that team is 6-2 with a chance to go 7-2. So go figure. I have no idea how it's happening, but it's sort of working out. We do have our big takeaways, of course, from Week 9, our top performers, and our waiver wire targets, which are going to be very important because as we get into the fantasy headlines, as we do this time every day on the show, a lot of interesting and important injuries have happened. The big one coming out of New York, Daniel Jones has torn his ACL. He is going to miss the remainder of the 2023 season. You combine that with Tyrod Taylor, who's on injured reserve, and Tommy DeVito is the man of the hour for the Giants at quarterback. So, look, we're not starting Tommy DeVito. We're not going to pretend that, I'm not going to try to pretzel myself and make you think this is a viable start for you. The question is, though, are we done with the Giants pass catchers? And what does this mean for Saquon?
Yeah, we're done with the Giants pass catchers. Coming into the year, it was Darren Waller or bust. I thought Jalen Hyatt had some upside, but that's gone now with Tommy DeVito as quarterback. And even Darren Waller, we have 3 more weeks where we know he is not playing. You can go and throw him on your IR spot. If you don't have an IR spot, you can seriously consider cutting him this week. Saquon, I said last week on the show, I think now is the time to sell Saquon. The schedule gets a little bit tougher. He had a good game, but it was against the Raiders, not the usual Saquon kind of game. And how many scoring opportunities is he going to get with DeVito? How many loaded boxes is he going to see with DeVito? I'm very, very concerned about Saquon the rest of the way.
Yeah, Saquon's going to see 9 men in the box pretty much every time he lines up there because there's zero belief that Tommy DeVito is going to beat you with his arm. The Giants are in a bad way offensively. I suspect they may go out and try and sign a free agent quarterback. Look, man, Josh Dobbs is off the market. We saw what he did yesterday, so good luck with that. But
Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz. He could finish his. Well, he's still got Dallas, but he's trying to make that trip around the NFC North.
Make the whole NFC East loop if he can. Yeah, it's bad news for the Giants, and we are pretty much done. Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, all of them. I think you can pretty much let go of them at this point now. Staying in the NFC East, Dallas Goedert fractured his forearm in the win over the Cowboys on Sunday. He's expected to have surgery. Will miss approximately 4 weeks. Look, I learned this morning when I went and looked that Albert Okwuegbunam is actually on the Eagles roster. I somehow missed that. There's nobody there that's going to get for the tight end position to fill in there. So stick around. We will do the waiver wire, and Matt Okada, I'm certain, will have some tight end options for you that you can look at if you've lost Dallas Goedert, which I know on at least one roster that I have. Yay. Closer to us in Los Angeles, the Chargers, who do play on Monday Night Football, they have placed wide receiver Josh Palmer on injured reserve. So, Mike Williams is gone for the year. Josh Palmer is on injured reserve. Is this finally it for Quentin Johnston to do things?
I hope so. I really, I have Quentin Johnston on a number of rosters, and I only played him in one place this week because I was pretty desperate, but that's just because of the Jets. They allow 16 fantasy points per game to wide receivers. Every other team is 21 or better, so they are by far the hardest matchup. They also have 2 elite corners that play out wide, and that's where Quentin Johnston primarily lines up. But after the Jets, I'm in on Quentin Johnson, because who else is going to catch the ball there? Like, the top targets are going to be Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen, but they need their first-round rookie to step up. He's coming off of his best game of the year, where they finally were like, hey, we're going to throw you some short passes and let you run after the catch and not expect you to be Mike Williams 2.0, which I think he was miscasted as. But yeah, check your waiver wire right now before that game starts even, because if he's out there, you could grab him.
Which is really funny because a couple of weeks ago, I think we were all like, well, it's probably time to move on from Quentin Johnson. He's not getting any targets. Josh Palmer's the guy, blah, blah, blah. Now Josh Palmer goes down, and suddenly it's like, all right, well, maybe Quentin Johnson. This is your opportunity to go out and make some plays. I know there were questions about his hands and whether or not he can consistently catch the football. He's going to get that opportunity to find out really, really soon. All right, in Minnesota, while they were riding the high of Josh Dobbs coming in, literally coming off the street and not even having a practice with the team and coming in and winning the game. I don't know if you saw the video of him working out the cadence with the offensive lineman, like on the sideline.
No.
He said, I didn't know any of these guys' names. I didn't know the cadences. I didn't know anything. And so, like, during a period when the defense is on the field, you see Josh Dobbs lined up with the center and a couple of the offensive linemen, and they are telling him what the snap cadence is because he hasn't been there long enough to learn it. And somehow he came from behind to beat the Atlanta Falcons there.
I love the idea of him like completing a pass and then being like, "Oh, by the way, I'm Josh." Like,
right? Hey, my name's Josh. Nice to meet you. So that was the high there for Minnesota, but the low comes in the backfield where Cam Akers suffered an injury. In fact, as we were sitting here and recording this show, it was confirmed that it is a torn Achilles for Cam Akers. So another one. I mean, he had one a couple of years ago, tried to come back at the end of the season, didn't really look great. Seemed like maybe he was starting to find a role there in Minnesota, but now his season is over, and you do have to sort of worry what that means long-term for his overall career. But in the short term, for the rest of this season, does this mean we can go back to trusting Alexander Mattison?
As like a safe floor RB2, sure. Someone who, if you're like, I want 10 to 12 fantasy points, I just don't think the upside is all that much higher than that. Like, the Vikings have 2 rushing touchdowns this season. They are Cam Akers and Josh Dobbs, like 2 players who weren't on this team coming into the season. Madison, I know, had the receiving touchdown yesterday, his second one of the year. His only chance, I think, of ever cracking 15 is with a touchdown, and they're going to be few and far between. I've never been the biggest Alexander Mattison fan, but if you have him, sure, he's a reliable RB2 moving forward. I
mean, I think that's sort of it. I mean, we saw at the beginning of the year how inefficient he was, the Vikings struggling to run the football. The upside now is that volume comes back his way. But now he gets a ton of volume. Whether or not he's going to be more efficient and effective, yeah, I'm skeptical considering the way the season started. But as you mentioned, I think RB2, probably on the lower end of that scale, is probably where he slots in the rest of the year. Time now to look back upon Sunday and talk about the things that we learned from watching the NFL this week. And one thing you learned is that, man, there's a lot to be excited about in Houston.
Yeah, with the Texans passing game, I understand that there's going to be volatility. The rookie quarterback, all of your top wide receivers are very, very young. It's just a young team, but the highs are worth the volatility here. Like CJ Stroud yesterday threw for 470 yards. No rookie quarterback had ever thrown for 440. No rookie quarterback had ever thrown for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game. He threw for 470 and 5. First time ever that 3 different players had over 100 receiving yards. So I understand maybe you don't want to play Tank Dell each and every week, but he is definitely in play in the right matchup. So is Noah Brown. I think Nico Collins, we're at the point where you just start him every week. You start Dalton Schultz every week. And I'm even getting to the point where I think, like, yeah, CJ Stroud, you just start him. The floor might be like 14, 15 fantasy points, but the upside, he is the only quarterback this year with a 40-point game. Like, the upside is so high. He's cracked 24 different times this year. I think you just deal with the low weeks and you ride with your Texans.
I think that's sort of the case right now, and we're going to compare C.J. Stroud a little bit later on in the show, so stick around for that. For me, the Vikings offense might still be usable in fantasy, and that's different than where we were this time a week ago. This time last week, Kirk Cousins was out for the season with a torn Achilles. We didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, we knew Jaren Hall was likely going to get the start in the short term, but we didn't know what this meant for T.J. Hawkinson, for Jordan Addison, for all those guys around him. And look, based on what we saw for about 3 quarters yesterday, there's still hope. Now, granted, the ceiling is going to be lower with Josh Dobbs, but we saw what Dobbs was able to do with Marquise Brown and, Zach Ertz and Trey McBride in Arizona. I think you can have confidence that he can get the ball to his playmakers. So, yes, you're not going to have as high a ceiling for Addison and Hawkinson as you did when Kirk Cousins was there, but you don't have to worry that they're going to be completely useless for you either. So there is some hope. We didn't have that a week ago. Thank you, Josh Dobbs. All it took was you being a rocket scientist to make this happen, but we certainly appreciate it. And it's good to know that our Vikings are not completely off the table for the rest of the year. Another team that wears purple and has been doing big things, but you think it's time to move on from a guy?
I think right now is the optimal time to sell high on Gus Edwards in fantasy football. I understand he's given you at least 17 fantasy points in 3 straight games. He has 6 rushing touchdowns in those span, 5 in his last 2 games combined. He has 1 game this year with over 70 rushing yards, and he has not topped 7 fantasy points in a game without a touchdown. But what worries me even more is he played just 19% of the snaps this past week and was 3rd on the Ravens in carries. Keaton Mitchell seems like he is becoming something that is going to remain involved. They never fully get away from Justice Hill. So as good as Gus Edwards has been lately, I think that's why you sell high now, because I don't think he's going to – maybe he could be this year's Jamal Williams and just score touchdowns at an insane rate, and their offense is good enough where maybe he can be that. I would play it safer and try to get someone that's a little bit more reliable and not part of a 3-back committee.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that they talked about trying to get Mitchell more involved for the last couple of weeks. Obviously, it happened in a big way on Sunday, but you look at it. Mitchell has 138 rushing yards. Gus Edwards has 2 rushing touchdowns. Justice Hill played like 64% of the snaps. So there's nothing resembling clarity in his backfield. So it's going to be really, really hard. But as you mentioned, Edwards is playing well, has the high touchdown upside. You could definitely get something back in return for him now, especially before this thing gets even more muddled and complicated than it has been. For me, keep the faith with Tony Pollard. I get it. It has not been great. He has not scored a touchdown since week 1. He had 2 touchdowns in the season opener, has not scored a touchdown since then. He's had fewer than 65 scrimmage yards in 4 of the last 5 games. He's had single-digit fantasy points in 4 of the last 5 games. But there are signs that are positive. He's still dominating the backfield snaps. He's still getting a decent target share, about 4.5, 5 targets per game for Tony Pollard. So the chance to catch the football is there. The next few weeks, things get a little bit better. Over the next couple of weeks, they've got the Giants, they've got the Panthers, so there are going to be some good matchups coming up for Tony Pollard. I think at this point, what you spent on him in draft capital, it's hard to imagine you're going to get that return on investment. We were talking about him as a high second round, maybe even a late first round pick. I don't think you're not going to get that sort of production from him this year, but I do think it can be better than what we have seen so far. So I understand it's frustrating. I understand it's hard to get away from Pollard. If you're still in it, keep the faith. I think Tony Pollard's going to come around for you very, very soon. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, talk about some top performers and some disappointments. I'm sure Tony Pollard was a disappointment for some of you. Plus, we'll play a little game of Who'd You Rather, comparing some players that are in similar situations that we might want to see if we want for the rest of the season. That and more coming up here on the NFL Fantasy Football Show. Set your alarm! Sunday Morning Football is back for an encore in Frankfurt, Germany, exclusively on NFL Network. Watch with the world as the Colts face off against the Patriots. Rise, shine, and watch Sunday, November 12th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus. Time to look at the top performers from Week 9. Of course, the Monday night game still to be played, but C.J. Stroud, we talked about that earlier, had himself a day, 470 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 41.8 fantasy points. Rachaad White, who very quietly has been moving up the ranks with his production, nearly 28 fantasy points for him. He had a pair of rushing touchdowns, also 4 catches for 46 yards. Tank Dell, the big recipient there from C.J. Stroud, or one of them, I should say. 6 catches, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, nearly 30 fantasy points. Dalton Schultz, the other big recipient, 10 catches on 11 targets, 130 yards, and a touchdown. He had 27 points. Would have been bigger had he not lost a fumble. Younghoe Koo, 4 field goals and a couple of PATs. That was good for 18. And the Colts defense, huge day, 4 sacks, 3 picks. 2 pick sixes against Bryce Young. Gave up 13 points. That was good for 26 fantasy points. So let's talk about some of the guys that were either on the list or just off the list. No surprise, Jonathan Taylor against a bad Colts run defense. That pretty much went the way we thought it would.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, and to me what stood out was the usage that he saw. 75% of the snaps, 18 carries to Zach Moss's 7. He ran 20 routes, had 5 targets. Zach Moss did not see a target in the backfield there. So 69 total yards and a touchdown for Jonathan Taylor. And I know some people, 17.9 fantasy points is a very strong day. Some people are still like, we haven't seen vintage Jonathan Taylor just yet. That is coming, and I think the fact that we have seen him fully start to take over snaps the last couple of weeks, and now the touches as well heavily going his way, they are slowly but surely starting to get Jonathan Taylor back to the workload that we are accustomed to seeing with Jonathan Taylor. He is back to being a must-start running back. Zach Moss, on the other hand, I don't know if we could keep starting him after this performance.
It's weird because I really thought Zach Moss was going to have a good day. I thought both guys would have a really good day. Maybe the tide is turning in favor of Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. Shane Steichen seemed to suggest that both guys are still going to get work. So I'm not ready to completely tap out on Zach Moss, but the alert, the antenna are up after what we saw this past Sunday. Meanwhile, Rachaad White, I mentioned he is very quietly just moving on up because they are getting him much more involved in the passing game. The 4 catches for 46 yards, a big plus there, and that's sort of how it's gone because the Bucs have struggled to run the football consistently. So they're using the short passing game as an extension of that run game. But then on Sunday, they were also able to run the football. 20 carries for 73 yards. I know the yards per carry average is not all that great there, but the opportunity was huge for Rachaad White there. Gave you almost 28 fantasy points. And this was a guy that I remember a couple weeks ago was asked what I want, Rachaad White or James Cook. And my first instinct was, well, of course James Cook. And then I started to dive into it. I was like, oh, this is a lot closer than I anticipated. And I think with what we saw from White the last couple of weeks versus what we're seeing from James Cook, I think I kind of went Rachaad White at this point.
I was very much so on James Cook and was off Rachaad White early on in the year. But, yeah, I think the two have certainly flipped. And there's no way I think right now you could take Cook over White.
No, just the way their respective teams are using them, it's hard to take Cook over White. Meanwhile, Johan Dotson, as our friend Adam Rank calls him, he's come to life lately.
Yeah, he has 8 or more targets in 3 straight games. He has a touchdown in 2 straight and has topped 16 fantasy points in each of his last 2 games. So someone that I thought coming into the year was a potential breakout candidate. Really slow start, probably was dropped if you were the one that drafted him. Still available in just under half of NFL.com leagues. I don't love his matchup next week against the Seahawks. I think you could either bench him or pick him up, leave him on the bench, whatever you want to do there. But he is someone I want on my roster right now moving forward. I think the upside is very high. And with the Commanders' defense being what it is, they are always going to have to throw the ball.
They are. I have Jahan Dotson on a roster where I haven't really found a way to put him in the lineup. And I know that I'm going to put him in the lineup this week, and he's going to go back to having like the 30 yards or whatever it is. But they're using him, and that's kind of what's important there. Josh Dobbs, who had himself a day, just came out of nowhere, was forced into action after the injury to Jaron Hall. He suffered a concussion, is in the protocol. Then on top of it, Cam Akers, who was the emergency quarterback, goes down with a season-ending Achilles injury. So it was up to Dobbs to finish the game. 158 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, also a rushing touchdown. Did have a couple of fumbles lost. But overall, he had a very good day against a pretty good Falcons defense. But as I mentioned earlier in the show, what I really appreciate was the fact that he got the ball out to his playmakers. He barely knew any of their names, but he knew how to get the ball to TJ Hawkinson, to Jordan Addison, got Alexander Madison involved in the passing game as well. And that really, more than anything, is sort of what we want from the Vikings quarterback at this point. I don't think we're believing that Josh Dobbs is going to be a weekly start, but as long as he can keep all those other guys involved, that is maybe the most important part. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, after Josh McDaniels was fired, the thing that came to mind was the song Yub Nub from the end of Return of the Jedi after the Death Star blows up and all the Ewoks are celebrating. That's kind of what I imagine the Raiders locker room was like. After the game, you saw Max Crosby smoking cigars. But on the field, Josh Jacobs finally had a huge game.
Yeah, the Raiders look like a team that has just been freed from something that has clearly been holding them back. And look, us Josh Jacob fantasy managers, we've been in need. And all we needed was AOC to come out here and help a little of us less fortunate people out. In AOC's two games this year, Josh Jacobs has had his two best fantasy outputs of the year. 26 carries yesterday, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I know game script was on their side and the schedule gets harder moving forward, but Josh Jacobs is getting so much volume now, and he has a quarterback that will throw him the ball. We know that. We saw that in O'Connell's first start. So I think, look, the schedule and stuff, I get it. Maybe you're not going to be able to get a whole, like, you're not trading Josh Jacobs, I would say, right now, but if you drafted him, this is probably the best you could feel about him all year.
Yeah, it really is. So Josh Jacobs got a whole lot of work, and he had a big game. We're still waiting for it to turn for Davante Adams. He went a while before he finally got a target. Didn't really have a great game. So we'll see if maybe that starts to change in the very near future. Meanwhile, Aaron Jones had one of his best games of the season. And this is a guy that a lot of fantasy managers have been struggling with, understandably, because he just hadn't really come together. It didn't help that Jordan Love hadn't been playing well, but Jones had been incredibly inefficient, wasn't getting a lot of work in the passing game. You wondered whether or not A.J. Dillon was going to pass him up on the depth chart. It just had been bad, but finally, the 73 rushing yards and a touchdown, 4 catches for 26 yards against the Rams. It was not a great game from either side offensively. It was kind of hard to watch in a lot of respects, but Aaron Jones finally coming through maybe gives you a little bit of faith. He's not going to suddenly turn back into the Aaron Jones from the last couple of years, but maybe he's going to be better than he has been. So that's the positive from that one on Aaron Jones. Those are the guys we liked. How about the disappointments for the week? Who really broke your heart in week 9?
The entire Seattle Seahawks offense. I mean, Geno Smith goes out. I know it's a hard matchup against the Ravens. 157 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet combined for 24 rushing yards. Tyler Lockett gave you single digits. DK Metcalf had 1 catch. Yeah, it was a 50-yarder, but he had 1 catch. JSN was the lone positive thing for the Seattle Seahawks. Kudos to the 5% of you that started him, or whatever the number is this week. This offense is simply just not what it used to be, and I did not think that the change of offensive coordinator would lead to it being as bad as it has been, because they still have so much talent at all of these skill positions. Like, I don't want to say Geno Smith is cooked or anything like that, but he is clearly not the same guy that he was last year. That being said, they get the Washington Commanders next week. I'm giving Geno, Lockett, and DK Metcalf another shot next week. But if they disappoint in that one, we need to have a very serious conversation about what to do with this offense moving forward.
It's been really bad for Geno Smith so far this season. But I do think this is a week potentially for them to kind of turn things around. We'll see if they can get going. But it's been very, very frustrating for those guys this year. Meanwhile, Davante Adams, I mentioned it, really didn't get a lot of targets. I thought for sure he was going to get the ball a lot. My bold prediction this week was that he was going to get at least 15, maybe even 20 targets. It was quite the opposite of that. He just had the 7 targets, 4 catches for 34 yards. It didn't work out. I don't really know what to say about it other than he's Davante Adams, so it's hard to make a real case to put him on the bench, and you just hope that Aiden O'Connell figures out how to get him the football. Real quick, we'll play a little game of Who'd You Rather. This is the ROS, Rest of Schedule edition of this. So I got 5 different scenarios here. So let's start. CJ Stroud or Sam Howell? Who'd you rather?
CJ Stroud. I like them both. They're both quarterbacks I would want on my roster, but I just think that the upside is too high with CJ Stroud. He's still just a rookie who's playing this well and coming into his own. I also really like the pieces around him in the passing attack.
I like the pieces around him in the passing attack. I like the fact, one, that he's not turning the ball over. Just 3 turnovers all year, 1 interception, a couple of fumbles. That's it. On top of it, I like the schedule the rest of the way. You look at their schedule down the stretch. They play the Titans twice in the fantasy playoffs, including in championship week. Meanwhile, you look at Howell's playoff schedule. He finishes week 16 and 17 at the Jets and then at home to the 49ers. that is not really what you want in a fantasy playoff situation. So,
No.
so give me C.J. Stroud there. Rashad White, who we just talked about, or Ramondre Stevenson, who had a big game on Sunday.
Look, I'm still not high on Stevenson to a degree. Like, I think he's better than what he has been so far, and they're finally starting to throw him the ball more. But I'll still go with Rashad White. I just think their offense has a little bit more firepower to it. They're throwing the ball to him more than they are to Stevenson, and it's crazy to say Baker Mayfield is outperforming anything that the Patriots have at the quarterback position right now.
But yeah, he is. I mean, that really is what the case is. I said this a few weeks ago because White at the time was getting fewer carries but getting more targets. That gives him more value there. And I think because there are more weapons there in Tampa, you can't focus on Rashad White. Meanwhile, if you're playing the Patriots, you can do a lot to try to take away Ramondre Stevenson because you're not worried that the pass catchers there are going to beat you quite as much. If you were playing Tampa, you have to pay attention to Mike Evans and to Chris Godwin, and that opens some things up for Rashad White. So I think I would take him the rest of the way.
Patriots had a 4th down pass play, like it was like 4th and 6 or something like that, and it was a design pass play to Ramondre Stevenson. That's just how bad the rest of the pass catchers are there.
That's where it is right now. Christian Kirk or T. Higgins, who's caught fire lately.
Yeah, and I've been all over the get T. Higgins while you can thing, but I'm going to go with Christian Kirk here. Both are talented wide receiver 2s, but the difference is Kirk is the top target for his offense, whereas T. Higgins is number 2 behind Jamar Chase. I like the offense and the quarterback more for T. Higgins, but the volume and the production just feels a lot safer from Christian Kirk.
It's funny because I was really going to go with T. Higgins here, and I think I got to go Christian Kirk as well. I just think the Bengals are much more explosive. But again, this is sort of a thing where I looked at the playoff schedules here, and it's not nearly as nice for Cincinnati, where they finish at Pittsburgh and then at Kansas City in championship week. And the Chiefs have shown they can shut down people. I mean, they did a pretty good number on the Dolphins for the better part of that game in Frankfurt last week. So maybe I lean slightly toward Christian Kirk, but this one was maybe the closest of all of them for me. Rashee Rice or Josh Downs?
Oh, maybe this is a little bit of recency bias because Josh Downs has been awesome, and I know he got hurt early in yesterday's game, but I'm going to go with Rashee Rice. One, the Colts have a tough schedule, like you said, like down the stretch. Face a lot of good secondaries, but one of these guys is catching passes from Gardner Minshew, and the other is from Patrick Mahomes. Like, to me, that is enough just to go with Rashee Rice. And I know he had a down game in Germany yesterday, but he did lead that team in snaps. He's been running more routes, at least at the receiver position. So I still think the upside is too high to get away from Rice.
I'm gonna go with Downs here, just because right now that passing game in Indianapolis is fairly narrowly funneled. It's Michael Pittman, it's Josh Downs, and Alec Pierce maybe getting some sprinkled in there as well. But it's mostly those 2 wide receivers that are getting a lot of work. And yes, the quarterback situation very much favors Rashee Rice. There's no doubt about it. But I think I'm gonna go with Downs. He's not maybe a downfield guy, but he's really good after the catch. Hopefully, whatever happened is not serious, and he can be back out on the field soon because he's been very, very good for the last few weeks. All right. We're going to take a quick breather, come back. We're going to dive into the waiver wire because we're all needing help with so many injuries, especially at the tight end position. So Matt Ocado will stop by with some guys that you might want to target this week. That's next on the NFL Fantasy Football Show. Matt Okada thinks you should be targeting off the waiver wire heading into Week 10. Quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, who very well could come back and play this week against Atlanta, Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr, Will Levis, he of the eating entire bananas, peel and all. But he is playing some good football right now, nonetheless. Running backs, Jalen Warren, Chuba Hubbard, Tyler Algier, who is not going away, Royce Freeman, a guy who could stash with the Rams on a bye this week, Keaton Mitchell, who's going to be very, very popular, Kenneth Gainwell, also another stash option with the Eagles on a bye. Looking over to the pass catchers for the week, you got Tank Dell, of course, Quentin Johnston, of course, Demario Douglas, Rashid Shaheed, who is doing a lot of good things in New Orleans, Khalil Shakir getting more opportunities in Buffalo, And at tight end, Trey McBride. Go get Trey McBride if he's still out there. Taysom Hill. I know Matt Okada is a big Taysom Hill supporter, but he's also doing a lot of good things on the football field. Kate Otten, Jonnu Smith, because Arthur Smith hates us, and Jake Ferguson. Now we can welcome in our friend Matt Okada, who puts together this list. You can check it out every single week at NFL.com/waiverwire. So, Matt, 4 teams on a bye this week: the Chiefs, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Eagles. That means a lot of top-level quarterbacks are going to be missing this week. So I guess it makes sense that Baker Mayfield is near the top of your target list.
Yeah, and that's not even counting all the top-end or mid-level quarterbacks we've lost to injury recently. It is a wasteland out there. But Baker's playing really solid football, and he did it again on Sunday. Was a solid stream for fantasy. 19 points against the Texans, 265 yards and 2 scores. He has now thrown for 230-plus and multiple TDs in 3 of his last 5 games, and his only dud over that span was against the Lions defense, who we know are very good. And even including that down game, he's averaging more than 17 fantasy points per game since week 4. He doesn't have much of a ceiling. We haven't seen him score more than 22 this year. But in this landscape at quarterback, we are beggars and we can't be choosers. So he's putting up consistent low-end QB1 numbers. I think he's a great guy to have as like half of a streamer committee, and he's definitely worth streaming next week against a beatable Titans secondary.
I agree with you on that one, Okada. And Tyler Algier, he has been known to fantasy managers this year, mostly for not being Bijan Robinson, but you think that needs to change now, right?
Well, let's be clear. I don't think it needs to change. I think Arthur needs to change. But Arthur's not changing, so yes, it needs to change. Like it or not, Arthur Smith is dead set on using Algier early, often, in crucial situations, aka at the goal line, all to the detriment of Bijan Robinson and his fantasy managers. Now, it's worth noting, they did lose last week, and they lost perhaps largely because Arthur Smith refused to give Bijan touches at the goal line on like a full series of goal-to-go plays. But for now, this is what we know. Algier out-touched Bijan last week. He outscored him in fantasy. We have to roll him out there. The Falcons are committed to this committee. And while both players would be better if they weren't splitting time with the other, we have to roll at least one of them, maybe both of them out, depending on the matchup. This next week, they play the Cardinals. That's about as good of a matchup as you can get. They have allowed 129 yards and 12 touchdowns on the ground to anybody. And that includes the Tyler Algiers and the Bijan Robinsons. So roll them both out there. And by the way, probably fantasy's top handcuff right now, because knock on wood, if anything happens to Bijan, he would be the number one and be running away with fantasy points.
I'm telling you all right now, I mentioned this in our Slack channel, that I'm putting Tyler Algier in the sleepers column this week, because at some point you just got to lean into it. And to your point, though, Matt, Arthur Smith has shaved his mustache. So he is capable of change in some form. Hopefully this means change for the offense as well, though. Speaking of changes in the backfield, Keaton Mitchell just exploded in a big way against the Seahawks on Sunday. That seems good, but it also seems worrisome that there might be a 3-headed committee coming for the Ravens.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a worry, and exploded is the right term here. Here's what I'll say. I think Keaton Mitchell is a little bit more of a high-end stash for right now than a priority pickup. But I do think it's important that our listeners know his name, so he's in here. Undrafted free agent rookie out of East Carolina. They were running over the Seahawks, and he was a big part of it and got the first carries of his career. He had none coming into this game, had 9 in this game for 138 yards, including a 60-yard run and a 40-yard touchdown run. So Gus Edwards, despite what we saw a couple weeks ago with that long touchdown catch, is not the explosive back. Keaton Mitchell clearly can be that guy. I still think you have to wait to see if he can overtake Justice Hill and be kind of that change of pace guy alongside Gus before you roll him into lineups. But he's absolutely worth tucking away if you've got a roster spot on your bench.
We've spent a lot of time today talking up C.J. Stroud and the Texans passing attack, but not to be overlooked, Tank Dell, wide receiver 1. I know we should be picking him up this week, Okada. Should we just be plugging him into our lineup as well?
Yeah, very probably you should be. We talked about him last week, and he is rostered in just over half of leagues. But you need to go check your waiver wire, because if he is there, he is probably the top ad of the week, unless you need a tight end, because there's some good ones. But Tank Dell is going to be a starter, in my opinion, rest of season. Almost 30 fantasy points on Sunday with a pair of touchdowns. In 5 games that he's played 50+% of the snaps, he's averaged 17.1 fantasy points and scored 4 touchdowns. That is elite production. And yes, it's been a bit boom bust, but the booms are well worth the investment, and I think the busts will continue to diminish as he continues to progress. Remember, this is his rookie season, and he's missed some time. So absolutely add Tank Dell. Absolutely, I'd be willing to flex him. And remember, again, I will keep mentioning this, they play the Titans in weeks 15 and 17. That is league-winning type of performance possibility for Tank Dell if he's in your lineup.
Meanwhile, over in New Orleans, for whatever reason, Derek Carr and Chris Olave are struggling to connect on deep passes, but Derek Carr and Rashid Shaheed seem to have a thing, so it's time for us to get on board there, right?
Yeah, it's wild. It's like if Derek Carr throws it up to Olave, it's going to bounce off his helmet. If he throws it up to Shaheed, it's going to be a touchdown. I don't know what's going on over there. But listen, I've been trying to avoid Shaheed in the column and in this segment for a lot of the year because he's so volatile and so boom bust. But with his recent involvement, the lack of better names at the position right now, I think Shaheed is worth a pickup and can be played in the right matchups. It's going to be tough. You're going to have some dud weeks, but the boom weeks are starting to outweigh those. 2 of his best games of the season in the last 3 weeks, even when you count the dud games, if you will, over the course of the year, he's averaging 12.7 points per game. In week 10, he gets a matchup with the Viking secondary. I think that can be beatable. He is, once again, as big a risk-reward start as you can get, but he's worth rolling out there if you need a guy like in bye weeks. As injuries continue to mount up, pick up Shaheed.
And you've already teased it a bit. A big week for the tight ends this week, especially for one that is most famously known for not being Kyle Pitts.
Yes, once again, we return to this. By the way, just a quick note before we get to Jonnu. If Taysom Hill or Trey McBride is on your waiver wire, go add them. They are must-start tight ends rest of the season. I don't care who you have. Okay, I do care. If you have Kelsey or Andrews, maybe a couple other guys, then it's a question. But otherwise, pick up those guys. As for Jonnu Smith, yeah, he had been trending downwards a couple weeks in a row, and it was like Arthur Smith said, I don't like this. We must get him more involved. And he broke back out on Sunday, 5 catches on 6 targets for 100 yards and a touchdown that was a 60-yard catch and run. Very impressive. He is now one of just 5 tight ends with a 100-yard game on the year. And like you mentioned, and like with Tyler Algier earlier, Arthur Smith is insistent on scheming Jonnu into opportunities, and that's what we want in fantasy. Opportunities, touchdown opportunities, which he has. He's 7th at the position in receiving yards this year, and he has this 20-point upside. So he's more of a solid streamer than a must start. So I'm not dropping a guy like George Kittle or Evan Ingram for him. But if you're playing that back end of the top 12, Jonnu should be in the conversation every week.
And then one other tight end, Jake Ferguson. Is he above or below Jonnu in your estimation?
Definitely above. This is not a he came later so he's less valuable. This is a we saved the best for last thing. Ferguson was an absolute monster on Sunday, 7 of 10 for 91 yards and a touchdown. He scored 14 fantasy points in back-to-back games coming out of the Cowboys bye and in 3 of his last 5 total. But this is the real crucial point with Ferguson. Leads all tight ends and ranks 4th in the league at any position in red zone targets with 14. The only guys ahead of him are Devontae Adams. I wish he could actually convert those into touchdowns. Jamar Chase and Michael Pittman Jr. And that includes Ferguson going through his bye. So that is absolute gold mine territory for fantasy tight ends. He's just below the Taysom and Trey area for me, but he should be starting in every league, and he's probably better than the guy you have on your roster.
Probably is. Meanwhile, we don't have too many guys better on our roster than Matt Okada. Go check him out on Twitter at Matt Okada and check out the waiver wire column at NFL.com/waiverwire. Thank you, Matt. We'll talk next week.
Yep.
All right. Meantime, for us, that is it. We are done. We appreciate you hanging out with the NFL Fantasy Football Show presented by Subway. You know the drill. Tell 2 friends to tell 2 friends. Rate, review, and remember, you're only as good as your last haircut. Be safe, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you again real soon.